Welcome back to the Smart Nonsense Podcast, where we talk about smart.
Oh, fuck, dude.
And he missed it. Nonsense, which means you're going to have 8 million years of bad luck.
Dude.
You missed the Smart Nonsense Rainbow. 8
Dude.
million years of bad luck.
No, it's on brand, dude. I'm beat down. I'm beat down.
Wait, really quick before we get into your beatdown, because it's a green room audio check. So going all the way back, and this is what I wanted to tell you in the green room, but it was pod fod, so I couldn't. Going all the way back to the inception of the pod, you used to test our mics by going,
Chimpanzee.
Thank you, chimpanzee, chimpanzee, doing that kind of stuff. Anyway, I was with my girlfriend, and monkeys came up for one reason or another. And I said, like, what is that, a chimpanzee? And she said, chimpanzee? It's a chimpanzee. I was like, and that's my whole story. For years, I've got the emphasis in the wrong place.
No, dude. So my friends in New York, we're big, like, change the emphasis on the word guys. It's kind of like a thing that we do. So, like, instead of saying, like, oh, are you hanging out with the boys? Well, we also change it to da, like D-A. But then it's actually really, everyone hates it, but it's like da boys. Like, we say da boys instead of the boys. So
wait,
it's
but
like
chimpanzee was before New York.
I know. I'm just saying it's like it's a trend in my life that, like, you find where the intonation is and you just you hit them with the right turn. Left turn even, maybe.
Smart nonsense, dude.
That's cool. Yeah, chimpanzee. Well, whoa, dude. You're kind of right. I
chimpanzee. Chimpanzee.
Chimpanzee. I don't know.
It's a cool name.
Chimpanzee.
By the way.
It's definitely not chimpanzee. I'll tell you that. Otherwise, we wouldn't laugh.
Chimpanzee.
But
you were saying you're
all good.
You're saying you're beat down. Beat down from the weekend.
I was getting out
weekend beat down.
Yeah. Boys. Yeah.
Well, and I have a new tradition. Tradition meaning the last 2 weeks, hoping to make it. Well, I'm not going to do it next week or the week after, but that's fine. New tradition. 7:30 a.m. tea time. 18 holes on Sunday.
Yikes, dude.
Yeah, that's my.
Yikes.
Still catching up on sleep from that one, but man, it's a good time, especially when you're just clocking the balls, compressing them, and yeah.
Wow. Bet you drive
hardcore
140 yards, dude.
I do sometimes drive like 180, which is also the same distance I hit my 5-iron, which is also the same distance I can rip my 7-iron if I'm really swinging. And actually, just to wrap on that, so my 7-irons, dude, I have 3 clubs, okay? And I've mastered 3 clubs. 7-iron, pitching wedge. I have 2 clubs. 7-iron and pitching wedge. And dude, I could hit my pitching wedge anywhere from 60 to 140 yards. And I can hit my 7 anywhere from 120 to 170 yards. And that's all you need. These guys with $1,000 bags of a million clubs and can't hit any of them.
Well, I mean, that was the point of our unreleased long-form experimentational series on the Cold War. And what was it? Kelly Johnson.
Skunkworks.
He ran Skunkworks during their historic era where they invented great airplanes. I wish you could have listened to that. But he would golf with just, I think actually just a 7-iron. He's like, hey, dude. Everyone shows up with a bag. He shows up with a 7-iron. And he just hits the same club every time right down the middle. And he's like, it's all you need, dude. So fuck, you're just Kelly Johnson.
It really is, because like so much of the game, people are like, oh, I can hit my irons today, but I can't drive. And then they're like, oh, I'm driving today, but I can't hit my irons. And you're just like constantly in this like one thing's working, the other's not. Just bring the 7, dude.
I really love the idea of actually just showing up with a 7-iron. one ball, because you're not gonna lose it, and a 7-iron. A ball in your pocket. It's kind of like the kids that are good at tennis that just show up with like one racket and like a string bag.
They'll put it in a plastic bag because it was just strung. They get to the court, just rip open the plastic bag and start slugging.
Right.
Dude, those kids were so annoying.
That might be me.
What'd
So
you
that's
do all
good.
weekend that got you beat down? Spaniard? Sorry. Whoa. Sorry. Unexpected cackle.
Oh, dude,
Wow.
I hit the Spaniard way too many times. Um, dude, I even hit the Spaniard last night, and it was like rainy, and it was like 9 p.m. and it was like
For the
two
audience,
people there.
last night was Sunday. Last night was Sunday. Today's Monday, May 5th, Cinco de Mayo.
Yeah. So
Sunday night Spaniard. Whoa.
it wasn't my idea. I'm not gonna take the blame for that.
It was rainy.
It was raining, dude. Literally, no one was there. And my buddy who was there, who will remain unnamed, I'm like, hey, dude, it's like really rainy, and I like came straight from the hockey rink, and I'm like, you sure it's worth going out to the Spaniard because it's raining 9 p.m. on Sunday? And he's like, yeah, dude, there's some talent here. And I get there, and there's literally two people.
Oh.
I'm like, is what you drag me out for, huh? But Friday,
like
dude.
Our college bar. There's a bar underneath our college, and senior year when we were out of things to do, we would spend way too much time there. And yeah, like a Monday evening, there'd just be like 3 people in the place, and they're just doing problem sets, and we're like drinking pitchers and playing darts. It's so grim. Although it was
crazy.
the best time of my life.
It's so weird because I think I went to the GCB like 2 times in my life.
Well, you didn't leave the house.
I know. It's just funny that was like we lived in the same house, and that was such a fundamental part of your senior year experience, and I never went, which is just weird. But yeah, so that Sunday night was actually, it wasn't that. It almost hit actually. We audibled there, but Friday night, more juice there. Hit the Spaniard, dude. Gotta retire the Spaniard though. It's just not the place to be. I think my buddy, he felt bad.
Wait, before we get into that, can we just get an instant replay of the pod like 2 weeks ago when you're saying like bars are the best, the Spaniard's the best?
They're just the table
Wait,
next to you. It was cool.
What's your singles bar in New York called?
Spaniard.
The Spaniard.
Yeah.
And Isosceles is out 2 weeks later, retiring the Span.
No, I mean, no, the Spaniard's incredible. It just, I have different goals.
2 weeks later.
Well, yeah, I mean, I just don't think I'm going to find the love of my life at the Spaniard. But man, it is like, it's actually, I mean, I've never gone out. But like, dude, if you have a singular goal of just to meet women, I've never seen like a better place. It's crazy. But we're gonna have to retire that, all right? Because we're moving on, different priorities.
I cut you off though. You said your buddy was saying.
Well, my buddy felt bad because I was heating up at the Spaniard, and then he like bailed on me. He stopped going to the Spaniard with me. Actually, what's kind of funny is he's like, dude, I'm gonna come back out with you. Let's hit the Spaniard. And I go back out with him, but he always leaves like fucking 11:30 p.m., which is right when it's heating up. And you got to stay till like, 3 a.m. if you're gonna.
Oh, yuck. Yuck. You wouldn't catch me dead in the Spaniard at 3 a.m.
Well, it's fun. It's just funny because he comes out with me and then immediately leaves. I'm like, well, I might as well just go by myself. But dude, I don't need anybody. I'm a beast. But Spaniard was fun. But the real, dude, this is where Isosceles is pivoting, all right? And this is where he's pivoting.
Okay.
Because I have friends. And dude, I like this just fucking dumb nonsense diary podcast. That's really cool.
I have an update on, we were talking about money last week. I have an update on that, which we'll get to.
Oh, fuck. Well, it didn't sound very good.
Wow.
Well, Spaniard isn't it. But my friends, my new friends, well, they're not really new friends, but they're like my double down friends. I'm like, oh, I like these guys. I want to hang out with them more. And we're all hanging out a lot more, which is nice. They're smart. And so now, and a couple of my girlfriends. And so now we're going, and their girlfriends are smart. So we're going to like the parties I want to be going to that aren't the Spaniard. Because the Spaniard is sloppy Spaniard, dude. But these parties, they're not sloppy, dude. They're the right demographic. So Saturday,
network is everything.
Yeah. Realizing network effects. Isosceles is learning, dude. So Saturday, dude, I haven't had a gym jamboree like this. It was like an all day, all night. It was like 1 1 p.m. and I didn't come back home till like 3, 4, 5 a.m. I don't remember. And it was all day long. And so the first party, that was my buddy's girlfriend. It was like a Stanford Yale party, which is cool. Right demographic. Kind of realized they're like the nerdy side of the spectrum. And then after a couple hours of that, went to this Harvard Yale party, which is actually crazy. That was like it was like kind of a Buxton-y crowd, which for the listener is like our rich international crowd that goes to Brown. But this is the Harvard version. And it was like a fucking crazy penthouse, double rooftop thing. Everyone like, dude, the party, it was just absurd. Like beautiful people everywhere. And it was like my buddy was like, dude, just look at the guy's watches. And I don't know shit about watches, but he's like pointing out like, dude, that's that $80,000 watch. That's $35,000. That's $125,000. It's just like,
look at your watch,
dude. I'm fucking comes off too. Look at that. So that was like mind blowing to me. And then went to this other Harvard girl's birthday party. Not to be, dude, I don't mean to be dropping elite institutions for 18 to 21 year olds, but
yeah.
But it's just, point is like the sloppy Spaniard, even the sloppy Spaniard on Friday. Like I talked to girls. One dude. Okay.
This is such an accidental sloppy Spaniard pod.
Well, I just have a lot. I was talking to this girl, and she just like, when I came in, I'm like, hey, I don't know what I said, but like very early on, I asked, like it came up where we went to school or something, and she's like, oh, I went to Harvard. I'm like, okay, that's cool. And she's like, yeah. And then she like said she's Canadian and she played hockey as a kid or something. And this was before I even mentioned hockey, so I'm like, wow, take it easy. But point is, I didn't realize, but she like lied about half her life. Like she didn't go to Harvard, didn't play hockey. It was just like a thing that her and her like friend who actually went to like the school Columbia. So it was kind of confusing because half of what they said was true, half was a lie. They were just like, I just didn't realize girls lied. So I got like really deep in the night, and then it's just like, I'm like, who are you, dude? What are we doing here? Why are we lying to each other?
Athena will get into Ubers and just practice lying.
It's crazy.
Yeah, she'll just come up with some complete. And to be honest, I kind of do too. At least in Ubers.
Maybe, but
they don't need to know about me.
I guess. I was just like, whoa, I was blown away. So I had some trauma, and then, dude, I think that had to connect somewhere to something. But point was, okay, so here's some more stories, dude. Because 14 hours of just getting after it, and that was one day alone. The last party we went to, it was I was hanging out with like a couple, my two buddies, and then they went home because it was like the 11:30 buddies that just like get tired. But they like swapped in some other friends that they were friends with, so I was hanging out with them, and then my friends went home. But I stayed because there was some real talent at the place we're at. And then this other random guy came in. Hard to tell this story properly, but basically this random guy, he comes in and they introduce him like, hey, this guy's Hans, and I'm like, hey Hans, what's up? He's kind of like big dude, kind of intimidating, pretty intense. Like, what's up? I'm doing. And then this buddy introduces him. He's like, yeah, Hans is he's a grandmaster.
Oh,
like chess, like
chess
really
or KKK? Don't they have grandmasters?
What?
Or no,
That's
grand
where your
wizard.
mind goes?
That's a grand wizard. It's
Wow.
not where it went. I was trying to make a joke, and then it didn't work.
That's I'm glad you know.
Grandmaster chess, dude. Elo.
He's a grandmaster at chess, and I'm like, oh, that's cool. Like grandmaster is a pretty big deal, right? Because you look young. Like, yeah, he's gonna be like number 1 in the world pretty soon. I'm like, what? And I just kind of like blew it off, and I didn't really like understand it, and I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. I watched a lot of hot chess streamers, and that was my line to like, connect with the dude. And he kind of laughed, but then we never talked about it. I just realized like at the end of the night, after hanging out with this dude for like 4 hours, like he got recognized in line when we're like just hanging out, and someone's like, oh, are you the really good chess guy? I look him up later.
What?
He's this guy, I don't know if you remember, but the All In podcast, he was he was a guy who like Magnus Carlsen got really pissed off at because he was cheating. Hans Niemann. He was
Oh,
like supposedly
yeah.
cheating.
No, Magnus. Well, okay, yeah. Continue. One of them was cheating. Wasn't Magnus the cheater?
No.
But
Magnus was accusing him of cheating, so he just wouldn't play
with
him.
AI, right?
I don't know how it works. Somehow, I don't think anyone knew how it worked, but they're just like, this is too sus because he came out of nowhere and he's just beating everybody. And he's like 21 years old or
Right.
something. And I just didn't. The dude's like, top 10, 20 in the world or something right now, and came out of literally nowhere, and just a beast, and just like a really weird feeling of like being with someone that does cool things in the world, but you have no idea, and you just treat him like a normal dude. He's kind of scary dude. Like, sorry, just
Oh,
he was
he's
like
born in 2003. I just saw that. Isn't that kind of crazy?
Yeah, I think the other two dudes were killers too because they were his friend, but I didn't look them up. But yeah, we're just getting after it, and had a week, dude. I didn't get much sleep at all, dude. Because machine gun.
Well, congratulations. I guess this episode
Didn't
will
five
probably
love
be. Yeah, well, that, and then this episode is I went to the sloppy Spaniard. But what?
The thing that no one, unless you live in New York, know.
The one thing I wanted to bring to the table was you asked me. I can't remember if it was on the pod or after the pod off the record, but you asked me last week, like, what happens with my money? Was that on the pod? And I said I'd come back with a what's that called? A summary. Come back with having figured it out.
Okay. Yeah. Well,
I'll tell you.
The thing is, you should, in theory, have like half the expenses that I have because you have a significant other. Granted,
and live
it's
in
obviously
Chicago.
not half, but yeah, and live in Chicago. It should be half basically, but we both have.
But I don't.
No
Well,
money.
yeah. The significant other thing, it also ends up being spending more because we do a lot of stuff. So that might come out in a wash. I don't know.
Yeah,
but dude,
so
as you in the audience know, I'm becoming a pilot.
Right.
Tom Cruise, Top Gun.
Uh-huh.
With becoming a pilot means pilots have a lot of gear, and I, for one, am a what do you call that? Like a gear guru, a gear. There are people that like get all of the gear and then do the thing, right? Some of them don't even end up doing the thing. They just like to accumulate all the gear. A gearhead. I'm a gearhead. So I guess just to give you an example of on Saturday night, because I wasn't at the Spaniard, I was actually in alone, enjoying time alone. I was shopping for gear, and I was spending a lot of money on airplane gear. One of those things I didn't even intend to buy. It was only after spending about $2,000 on other gear that I was then like, well, yeah, headset primarily. Headset's a very expensive headset.
Can you wear that on hog trips?
No, it's just an airplane headset, unfortunately.
Okay.
The hog trips will have a much cheaper helmet headset. But so I'm buying headsets. I'm buying you need like a little flight computer to do calculations. I'm buying all kinds of gear, dude. And I get to the point after all that where I'm like, well, if I'm going to be in the sky, I need sunglasses, which I already have a handful of pairs around me. But now that I'm a pilot, I need aviator sunglasses. And I start going down that rabbit hole, and I find out about this company called, I think, American Optical, AO. I'm like, those seem really cool. I go further down the rabbit hole. I find out that they have a pair of sunglasses like that were issued in the survival kit of the astronauts on Gemini and Apollo missions. So then, of course, I got to get those. And then once I had those, I needed I went to this other company down that rabbit hole called Lunar Replicas, and they make a replica of the little satchel that those sunglasses come in that were issued to the astronauts on Gemini and Apollo. So now I have those.
Be an astronaut.
Well, that'd be next. So that was just to give an example of like where my money goes sometimes. Plus premium economy. The headset was premium economy. It was a $1,500 headset. Yeah.
That's a lot.
Yeah. Bose Q30.
Nice. You wanna put an affiliate link in the description? Maybe you can recoup 5%. Dude,
I did get
remember
30% off. It's all a write-off. It's all a business write-off.
That can't be true.
Dude, I'm gonna fly my plane for business. I'm gonna fly to you.
Dude,
pick you up.
That's a
Fly
crazy,
you to
crazy thing. That's all a business write-off. Okay. Oh yeah, I was gonna say this one really talented girl, and by talented I mean hot girl that I was talking to.
The duality of the pod, dude. Astronaut, talent.
Well, let me connect it, dude. Her boyfriend, stud. He works in whatever the space program's called that Trump has, or is it
Space Force?
Space Force? Yeah, I think he's in Space Force. Stud. So you can hang out with him. I'll hang out with his
That's
girl.
the connection. Cardo. Shut it down. Murmurs
Fuck.
under his breath.
Business.